So before we really talk about pricing, I think that we need to talk about the size of the luxury resale market, because it is massive. And this really did start to grow a lot during COVID because people were locked in, and so there were people who were making purchases and then selling them on at a markup. But then you also had that introducing people to buying not from the store and feeling more comfortable to buy secondhand, and that allowed the sort of pre-loved market to really grow. But we are 6 years on from COVID, as insane as that seems, and being that far on from COVID, one of the things I've really noticed is, particularly as we are in a very, very uncertain economic time where everyone's sort of waiting for that shoe to drop and the bottom to fall out, people still want to buy things. They still love luxury things. There is still a market for luxury, but people are looking for a good deal. And there's an issue with that. And that is that the resellers have been used to being able to command a price that was relatively close to retail on a lot of items and not really having to give the deals to get people to buy, because people were willing to accept $200 off from an item. And I don't think people are anymore. I think that given that there are now so many modern luxury brands that came out after COVID, those indie brands, the sort of higher tiered high street brands, all of that has contributed to people saying, you know, I don't have to pay $1,000 for a bag. Also, you have the fact that there's been a lot of price increases on bags. And so as the price in store increases, it was increasing on the resale market, and people are saying, no, I don't want to pay that much anymore. And so we are now locked into this battle of the buyers who are wanting to get a really good deal, who remember what the prices were back before the resale market went crazy, with the sellers who are wanting to get as much as they possibly can for bags because it is their business. They built businesses around this market and around a market where they used to be able to get quite a lot, very close to retail or over retail for a lot of these pieces. Now, not every bag is able to command that. It has never been that every bag is able to command that. The condition, as well as the brand and the desirability of the exact product, really feed into that price. And you have Chanel bags that often hold their value really well. Louis Vuitton canvas pieces have traditionally held their value pretty well, particularly for the very traditional pieces. And then you also have Hermes, which has a lot of smaller items that will hold their value pretty well, a lot of their other handbags that will hold their value pretty well. But then of course the Birkin and the Kelly, there's my Birkin right up there, that command well over the retail cost. And before we talk any more about this topic, there is something else that I want to talk about. And that is because Hermes is one of the absolute hardest hitting companies when it comes to holding their resale value on the market, because a lot of their products are really hard to get a hold of. Whether it's in the store or online that you're trying to get their products, their product production amount is very, very controlled. And so items like the Constant To Go, the Picotin, the Farandole necklaces, the Rodeos and the Pegasus, all of those are so hard to get, but there is a service that can help you. Xingqiu is an Hermes bag drop alert service, and what they do is that they alert you to things that restock on the website of the super in high demand items they're so hard to get a hold of. And so they alert you either via email or WhatsApp so that you don't have to pay these crazy resale prices, because I have seen all of these items go for well over retail. And I'm someone who I don't like to pay over retail. It really bugs me. I refuse to do it. It's why I was never ever going to go to the resale market for my Birkin. I was just going to wait. And I'm really lucky to have a great Hermes SA who I feel like could probably get me any of these items that I really wanted. However, in order to help her, I've been using Xingqiu to get the information on what the items actually cost now, because sometimes that can be hard to find when they aren't showing up on the website. I don't want to ask for an item not knowing the price. She get it in, she worked to get that item for me, and then it be more than I want to pay. So that has been great source of information for me. But also I'm able to see color options and see item numbers that I can send her absolute specific SKUs in order to help secure those pieces for me, because I do want to go through my SA to keep my profile and my relationship with Nashville. But I have been trying out this service for the past month, and there have been multiple times where I've been right at the point where I can hit that final button to pay on, there was a Picatin that I was able to put in there. There was a Farandel 120. There was a Rodeo. There was a Constance to Go in a tube. And so I was able to get all these items into my cart because of the Shing Show alerts. And like I mentioned, you can sign up to have alerts via email, and that's unlimited alerts for any of the items that are on there. And then you also have the option to do the WhatsApp alert. Now, the thing to note about the WhatsApp alert is that that only allows for 5 alerts a day, but as more people start to use their WhatsApp, because that's a newer feature, then you are able to get more and more alerts. The other thing that I want to note is that they're constantly adding more popular products. So for instance, the new Twilly, that's the like fringe Twilly, that is, I will admit, really, really cool, and I am kind of really tempted by, because I've seen some cool Twillies with the fringe on the Birkins. But that is an item that they have recently added because it is a new item from Hermes that's very hard to get and very, very popular that a lot of people want. And I really appreciate the fact that they are staying up to date. You also will only get alerts for your market. So for instance, you sign up for the US market, you get alerts when it goes onto the US website. That way you're able to purchase it and have it shipped to you. Because if you were to sign up for an alert for all around the world with Hermes and it were to come in stock, for instance, on the UK website, well, if you don't live in the UK, you can't get it shipped to you, so that's really not particularly helpful. But if you're someone like me and you're really just using this as a way to gain information, they have a whole history section of all the different products that have dropped, and that allows you to see everything that they are able to alert you about, what items are constantly dropping, what items really aren't dropping, so that if you get an alert for that item, hey, you need to jump on this, or hey, this item drops every week, you can probably get this at any point, as long as you're using the alert service, because it is very, very good. So if you're after any of these hard to get items, go ahead and check out Shing Show. I have a link down in the description, as well as use my code accounting15 for 15% off, as this is a subscription-based service. Now let's get back into talking to the resale market, because we've talked sort of about brands, but condition is also a really, really big factor. You can get some great deals on pieces. You can find keep all 55s for 500 bucks on the resale market, but a lot of times they'll have odors or stains, or you'll see where the leather is really, really worn. You've got to pay attention to that. Versus you can also find keep alls that are very near retail, particularly in the Damier Ebene and the Damier Azur patterns, because those are really, really hard to get a hold of. In fact, I don't think they're even making the Damier Azur and the keep alls anymore, which is so sad to me. But that is a piece that you are going to pay more for, that is a canvas piece where it's going to be very near retail, and you have to keep that in the back of your head. So if you're willing to accept some scratches on the hardware, some scratches to the leather, some corner wear, you're going to be able to get a better price, particularly as the resale market, people are after those deals. They might see a brand new item, and that's great that you have a brand new item listed really, really close to retail, but it's so easy to go online and order online now for most brands that you don't really need to go through a reseller if you can't get to the store, and therefore you're just getting the new item directly from the store, and that guarantees you authenticity. It means that no one else has ever had it, and psychologically you're willing to pay those few hundred extra bucks right now that you might not have paid before. But you can also use condition to your advantage as a buyer to say, hey, this bag isn't perfect. It means that I should be getting a really, really great deal on it. And I think that that is really important, that you spend time not just only looking at items and seeing where the current market prices for what things are selling at, but also looking at condition, because an item that is in excellent pre-loved condition is not going to contend the same price that an item that is in very used pre-loved condition will. And I think that people, particularly as quality has gone down recently with luxury brands, are very open to going for those older pieces, even if the leather has a lot of patina in it, even if it has some watermarks or some scratches or some wrinkles. For instance, my Chanel Classic Flap is a Series 1 Classic Flap. It doesn't look brand new. It has a little bit of age to it. It's a 30-year-old, 35-year-old bag. It's not going to look brand spanking new, but I'm okay with that because I was able to get an amazing deal on it because it was 35 years old. But this is where sellers can be really smart in that they can tell you what the condition is, but they can price the item really well. And so you're seeing this great price deal, you're more likely to jump really quickly, particularly if the photos aren't as detailed, if there aren't as many photos. Even if they're showing some of the wear, you can definitely use tricks of the light to hide some of that. And so sellers are able to move those pieces on at a seemingly really good price, and then the person gets the item and it's not the condition they were hoping for, but it was final sale. So as a buyer, it is on you, if you see that great price, to do your due diligence to make sure it is authentic, first off, but then also to ask questions, to ask for pictures, to ask for video, because a lot of times video, you can't hide those details as well as you can with the photos. There was a bag that I had seen pop up that I messaged Meredith about. It was an amazing deal and she really liked it. So she said, hey, find out more information on this bag for me. And so I did, because the seller was in the US, would only ship to the US. And so it was just easier for me to handle the conversation. And when they sent us the detailed photos, there was a lot of damage. This was a Fendi first in mink. And while the mink was fine, the hardware on the bag was super nicked. The little like clasps that flip out for you to be able to hook the strap on, one of them looked like it was broken. It just was not in good condition, but the photos on the website didn't show that. And so had I not asked for photos and videos, we would have never seen that. Meredith would have purchased this bag with me facilitating, and it wouldn't have been a good option. And she would have been really disappointed in it. I would have been really disappointed in it. And so that's why you've got to do your due diligence. There have been other times where I've been sent extra photos and videos of a bag and it's been in way better condition than I thought it was, and that made me jump. So the same reason that it can make you hesitate can also make you jump on something. But again, that's on you, because everyone's perception of what is excellent, what is good, what is fair, what shows wear, all of those are not just at the discretion of the brand, but the discretion of the person who's evaluating them. And so what is excellent condition to you might not be excellent condition to Fashionphile, might not be excellent condition to another buyer. And so you have to keep that in mind, that words only go so far. The proof is going to be in the actual evidence of the bag itself. So where do my thoughts lie on the resale market? Well, I'm someone who, as a seller perspective, I'm perfectly content to wait on my pieces. I have them priced where I want them, and I know what I want to get out of that piece to feel good about selling it. And if I'm not getting that, for me, I'm perfectly comfortable just sitting there and waiting for it to sell, because eventually someone will want that piece and they'll be willing to pay my price for it, particularly the condition I keep my items in. I know other people though, who they don't want to wait, and they'd rather say, you know what, it's sitting on the shelf, it's wasting money. I'd rather have $300 now than wait to get $600 later. And so it depends on why you're wanting to sell those items. Are you needing space? Are you needing the cash? Or do you not really need the space and so it's fine to sit there? Do you not really need the cash right now, so it's fine to wait until you get more? And that will also factor into your decision. Are you trying to sell it yourself? Are you selling with a consigner? Are you looking for a buyout option? Because all of this will affect the price that you are getting as a seller. As a buyer, I'm not going to pay retail, and you better be significantly discounted over retail for me to go pre-loved at this point, because I want the deals. I'm someone who I am looking for the deals. If it is not a deal, I am not interested. That is why I watch things like the live shows from What Goes Around Comes Around, because they take the items on their site, they discount them like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%. And so you get these very heavily discounted prices that you only get on the live show. So finding the consigners that you really like that do live show and live show exclusive pricing is also another way that you can help get a really good deal. But then finally, don't just buy something because of the price. Buy items that you truly love. If you truly love an item, you're going to keep it, and so resale doesn't matter. I look at the resale market when I'm purchasing pieces, not to just buy pieces because they're a good price, but to buy the pieces that I love at a much better price. If I'm not buying a piece because I'm like, well, I don't want to buy this piece because the resale isn't going to be very good, then I don't really love that piece enough anyway, because I'm already looking at that piece as something that I plan to sell. If I'm buying an item, not caring about the resale, not thinking about the resale, it's because I genuinely love the item, but I'm someone who I think a lot before I spend my money, and so I also do my research saying, hey, can I find this same piece in excellent or new condition on the resale market at a lot better price? If so, I'm gonna go to the resale market. Overall, luxury resale is all about making informed decisions. Informed decisions as a seller, understanding what will impact the price of your item, what you might be willing to sacrifice in terms of price to get it sold, how badly you need it sold. But in terms of a buyer, the resale market, being informed allows you to get the best deal possible. If you are interested in finding those hard to get Hermes pieces though without paying retail, make sure to check out Sheng Show using the link in the description, as well as my code accounting15 for 15% off. And if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Apparently there's this thing called hyping a video that you can do that will help me out. Leave a comment. I appreciate all of it. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.